Let me turn the camera over here. And there we go. And we got cycling cameras. And next thing we're going to do is start the Book of the Face. That involves the same thing of putting up a billboard, which takes a few minutes. It takes the computers to communicate with one another and send the signal back. And we're on episode 25 of the Mueller Report. We're going to be resuming reading in volume 2 on page 49. And we're going to do a delete here, and then we're going to the Saturday okay, I need a Y there. Saturday evening news. And then we go to the next line and we put up a delete, and I just put myself there, host Richard Slezak. Maybe I should do the dates for these. Alrighty. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Alrighty. Welcome, YouTube viewers and Facebook viewers and listeners over the voiceofstockton.org. I am Richard Slezak. This is the Saturday evening news, and we're going to go right into our recorded portion of it, since I got surprise for you in there. Not much of one. Nothing shocking. And today's date is December 7th, 2019. And this is Saturday evening news. And we're going to start at a decent time in 3, 2, 1. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Richard Slezak here. You are webtuned to the Voice of Stockton, coming to you from the John Moriarty Studio, 231 East Bedford Road, Stockton, California. And welcome, YouTube viewers and Facebook viewers. Going to head over to the big desk. Let's tune up the mics and make sure we'll have some sound over there, and migrate, get the headset on, and greetings, viewers. Here we go. We do have sponsors here at the Voice of Stockton, and they are Hotel Furniture Liquidators at 1648 North Shaw Road. Furniture for your home, your family, possibly a rental or a model home you're selling. That's at 1648 North Shaw Road. Nearest cross street is we got that little box in there. That's kind of strange. Oh, well, the little box stays. It's cool. And they're just east of 99 off of East Fremont. Bookstores here in Stockton, the Miracle Mile Bookstore, 2210 Pacific Avenue. And if you have books for sale and you want to buy some books as well, kind of an exchange, Doors Book Recyclery at 2310 Pacific Avenue. Fong Tu is the proprietor. Custom Plastics and Signs at 326 East Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard, midway between San Joaquin and Sutter. They'll fabricate plastic parts for your car. They got plastic sheets, rods, and tubes. They'll make signage, wonderful corrugated signage. They make stencils and vehicle and boat graphics. You see the catering trucks, all beautiful graphics on those. Print T-shirts, business cards, and build displays. That's Custom Plastics and Signs, 326 East Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard here in Stockton. Millennium Computer Repair can repair your computer. They'll trade as well. They got the lowest prices in town for computer parts. And they'll buy and sell computers. They'll fix viruses and spyware. They'll remove it. Performance improvement, computer password removal, data backup, and hard drive repair. That's Millennium Computer Repair in the 209-922-1879. Millennium Computer Repair in the 209-922-1879. Habitat for Humanity, wanting to put over a roof over everybody's head. They have, now, if you have old paint, chemical, let's say cleaning supplies such as laundry detergent, tools, equipment, furniture, building materials, fasteners, electrical, and HVAC apparatus, that's all for sale at Habitat for Humanity Restore. And it's also available for you to take donations over there too. I mean, does Salvation Army want 2x4s? Hey, the Restore does. They're at 4933 West Lane, the Restore, Habitat for Humanity, your alternative hardware and building supply store, 4933 West Lane, 100 yards south of March Lane on the west side. Tender Donuts, we bake fresh daily at 1304 East Hammer Lane. Tender Donuts is open 7 days a week. 4:30 Monday through Saturday it opens, 4:30 a.m. And on Sundays at 5:30 a.m., staying open till 6. That's Tender Donuts, 1304 East Hammer Lane. T-shirt printing, business card printing can be done at Leaders. Leaders Printing, 500 East Lodi Avenue. Sweet A in Lodi at Garfield. That's Leaders T-shirt Printing, 500 East Lodi Avenue at Garfield in Lodi. All right. Now we started out with YouTube and then Facebook, and at 9:30 we started the show. Did our sponsors, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, sponsors 7, and we have 9:36 p.m. here at the Voice of Stockton. And we need to get the sponsors aside. Thank you, sponsors. Sure do appreciate it. If you're a small business in San Joaquin County, if you're a big business, businesses we'd love to have as sponsors, ones that are locally owned. And I know that's a big idea, so we keep the money here in the county, and we prosper, and we help one another out. Oh, why did it do that? Computers are funny. They want to help you, but sometimes their help is of a negative value. Okay, with that, let me scroll down the big page. It's a two-hand operation, and we're about, we're about 70% done with the Mueller report, and let me see where we're at here. Ooh, that's a familiar page, 197. Yeah, that had a lot of, Congress does now have the unredacted version that might be available to the public. This is still the redacted version from earlier this year. Ooh, all right. We are somewhere. We're on pages that we will be reading. So going back to page 49, that's where we stopped at last week. Here we are, page 50. And 49, ooh, large footnotes. Where's the heading? Oh, okay, evidence. 1, Attorney General Sessions recuses from the Russian investigation. That started, and there's the section C, the President's reaction to public confirmation of the FBI's Russia investigation. Overview, and that starts March 2017. Evidence, that starts a while earlier at February 2017. Okay, that afternoon, Sessions announced his decision to recuse from any existing or future investigations of any matters related in any way to the campaigns for President of the United States. Sessions believed the decision to recuse was not a close call, given the applicable language in the Code of Federal Regulations, that's CFR, which Sessions considered to be clear and decisive. Sessions thought that any argument that the CFR did not apply to him was very thin, quote unquote. Sessions got the impression, based on calls he received from White House officials, that the president was very upset with him and did not think he had done his duty as Attorney General. Okay, now there's a footnote. Back up on page 49. Attorney General Sessions' statement on recusal, Department of Justice press release, March 2nd, 2017. During the course of the last several weeks, I have met with the relevant senior career department officials to discuss whether I should recuse myself from any matters arising from the campaigns for the President of the United States. Having concluded those meetings today, I have decided to recuse myself from any existing or future investigations of any matters related in any way to the campaigns for President of the United States. At the time, Sessions' recusal, Donna Bonte, then acting Deputy Attorney General and U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, became the acting Attorney General for campaign-related matters pursuant to an executive order specifying the order of succession at the Department of Justice, ID. Consistent with the succession order of the Department of Justice, Dana Bonte shall act as and perform the function of Attorney General with respect to any matters from, footnote continuing on page 50, which I have recused myself to the extent they exist. That was an Executive Order 13775, 82 Federal Regulation 10697, dated February 14th, 2017. Now here's a footnote 286 on page 50. Sessions provides that no employee shall participate in a criminal investigation or prosecution if he has a personal or political relationship with any person or organization substantially involved in the conduct that is the subject of the investigation or prosecution, and defines political relationship as a close identification with an elected official, a candidate, whether or not successful, for elective office, public office, a political party, or a campaign organization arising from service as a principal advisor thereto, or a principal official thereof. Now, Donaldson, dated 11/6/2017, it is not clear whether the president was aware of the White House counsel's office direction not to contact Sessions about his recusal. Then further, McCann said, this is footnote 290, said he believed that the note no serious concerns about obstruction, unquote, may have referred to concerns McGahn had about the press team saying, quote, crazy things, unquote, quote, and trying to spin Sessions' recusal in a way that would raise concerns about obstruction. Donaldson recalled that no comms, quote unquote, referred to the order that no one should contact Sessions. Then at the bottom, 12/12/2017, that's pretty much 2 years ago, Cohen had previously served as a lawyer for the president during his career as a private businessman. Priebus recalled that when the president talked about Cohen, he said Cohen would win cases for him that had no chance, and that Cohen had done incredible things for him. Bannon recalled the president describing Cohen as a winner and a fixer, someone who got things done. Oh boy. Continuing, we go back into the body, and here on page 50, the first full paragraph, shortly after Sessions announced his recusal, the White House counsel's office directed that Sessions should not be contacted about the matter. Internal White House counsel's office notes from March 2nd, 2017 state no contact with Sessions, quote unquote, and, quote, no comms / serious concerns about obstruction, unquote. That was, again, reread in footnote 290. Continuing. Well, on March 3rd, the day after Sessions' recusal, McGahn was called to the Oval Office. Other advisors were there, including Priebus and Bannon. The president opened the conversation by saying, quote, I don't have a lawyer, unquote. The president expressed anger at McGahn about the recusal and brought up Roy Cohen, stating that he wished Cohen was his attorney. McGahn interpreted this comment as directed at him. Oh, well, this is worth footnoting. And this is page 50. Trump wished Roy Cohen was his attorney. Sessions had recused, and McGahn Limited. Cohen. Now let's go down the page here. And again, that's, okay, it's Michael Cohen praised as fixer. And let's make sure. Cohen would fight for the president, whereas McGahn would not. Michael Cohen, praised as fixer, would fight for DJT. McGahn would not. And here we're on page 51. The president wanted McGahn to talk to Sessions about the recusal, but McGahn told the president that the DOJ ethics office had weighed in on Sessions' decision to recuse. We have looks to be 9:49 here at the Voice of Stockton. The president then brought up former Attorney General Robert Kennedy and Eric Holder and said that they had protected their presidents. The president also pushed back on the DOJ contacts policy and said words to the effect, "You're telling me that Bobby and Jack didn't talk about investigations, or Obama didn't tell Eric Holder who to investigate?" Bannon recalled that the president was as mad as Bannon had ever seen him, and that he screamed at McGahn about how weak Sessions was. Bannon recalled telling the president that Sessions' recusal was not a surprise, and that before the inauguration they had discussed that Sessions would have to recuse from the campaign-related investigations because of his work on the Trump campaign. And okay, in that, okay, Trump brought former Trump claimed RFK and JFK did talk about investigations and how'd he put that? Obama told Eric Holder who to investigate. Those were both false accusations. Both false accusations. Continuing on page 51, that weekend, Sessions and McGahn flew to Mar-a-Lago to meet with the president. Sessions recalled that the president pulled him aside to speak to him alone and suggested that Sessions should unrecuse from the Russia investigation. The president contrasted Sessions with attorneys general Holder and Kennedy, who had developed a strategy to help their presidents where Sessions had not. Sessions said he had the impression that the president feared that the investigation could spin out of control and disrupt his ability to govern, which Sessions could have helped avert if he were still overseeing it. And so right there, Sessions should unrecuse in order to, quote, help, unquote, the president. So right there is obstruction of justice. So this time frame is 3/2/2017 and ongoing. On March 5th, 2017, the White House counsel's office was informed that the FBI was asking for transition period records relating to Flynn, indicating that the FBI was still actively investigating him. On March 6th, the president told advisors he wanted to call Acting Attorney General, on to page 52, or how's this go? The Acting Attorney General, to find out whether the White House or the president was being investigated, although it was not clear whether the president knew at that time the FBI's recent request concerning Flynn. Now, footnotes on page 51, they're from McGahn, Bannon, and Sessions. Here's one from McGahn, 12/12/2017. Bannon said the president saw Robert Kennedy and Eric Holder as attorneys generals who protected the presidents they served. The president thought Holder always stood up for President Obama and even took a contempt charge from him. And Robert Kennedy always had his brother's back. Priebus recalled that the president said that he had been told his entire life he needed to have a great lawyer, a bulldog, and added that Holder would be willing to take a contempt of Congress charge for President Obama. That never occurred. Hicks, okay, this is from Sessions, January 17th, 2018. Hicks recalled that after Sessions recused, the president was angry and scolded Sessions in her presence, but she could not remember exactly what the when that conversation occurred. And so, and to help in order, Sessions should unrecuse to help the president, as yelled to Sessions by DJT. Alrighty. And this looks like it was through the 5th, 3/5/17. Excuse them. Coming up on, we got 9:57 here at the Voice of Stockton. And so we got more requests for records about Flynn. 2. The FBI Director Comey publicly confirms the existence of the Russia investigation and testimony before the House HPSCI. On March 9th, 2017, Director Comey briefed the Gang of 8 congressional leaders about the FBI's investigation of Russian interference, including an identification of the principal U.S. subjects of investigation. Although it was unclear whether the president knew of that briefing at the time, notes taken by Annie Donaldson, then McGahn's chief of staff, on March 12, 2017, state, President of the United States in particular need binders to put in front of POTUS. 1. All things related to Russia. The week after Comey's briefing, the White House counsel's office was in contact with the SSCI chairman, Senator Richard Byrd, the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, about the Russia investigation and appears to have received information about the status of the FBI investigation. On March 20th, 2017, Comey was scheduled to testify before the House PSCI, a Select Committee on Intelligence. In advance of Comey's testimony, the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, congressional officials made clear that they wanted Comey to provide information about the ongoing FBI investigation. Dana Bonte, who at that time was the acting attorney general for the Russian investigation, authorized Comey to confirm the existence of the Russia investigation and agreed that Comey should decline to comment on whether any particular individuals, including the president, was being investigated. Oh my! And what page are we on? We're on page 52. And acting AG Bonte on 3/20/2017 told Comey to decline comment on people being investigated on Russia, including DJT, Donald John Trump. We have 10 o'clock here at the Voice of Stockton. This is episode 25 of the Mueller Report, going to page 2, so to speak, of our notes. And moving swiftly. And we have 10 p.m. And this is episode 25. And we're on page 51 or 52. It's on page Fabulous 52. Volume 2. All righty. Okay, footnotes. Long one, Donaldson, 11/6/2017. White House counsel's office was briefed by Senator Burr on the existence of 4 to 5 targets. The targets were identified in notes taken by Donaldson as Flynn. FBI was in, wrapping up. DOJ looking for phone records, Comey, Manafort, Ukrainian and Russian, plus Russia, not campaign. Then ongoing matters, Carter Page, Dollars Game. The Greek guy, potentially referring to George Papadopoulos, later charged with violating 18 U.S. Code. Donaldson and McGahn both said they believed that these were targets of the Senate Select Committee. The Senate Select Committee does not formally investigate individuals as targets. The notes on their face reference the FBI, DOJ, and Comey, and the notes track the background materials prepared by the FBI for Comey's briefing. Okay, continuing. House Permanent Select Intelligence Committee. And we're going on to page 53. righty, continuing. In his opening remarks at the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence hearing, which were drafted in consultation with the Department of Justice, Comey stated that he had been authorized by the Department of Justice to confirm that the FBI, as part of its counterintelligence mission, is investigating the Russian government's efforts to interfere in the 2016 presidential election, and that includes investigating the nature of any links between individuals associated with the Trump campaign and the Russian government, and whether there was any coordination between the campaign and Russia's efforts. As with any counterintelligence investigation, this will also include an assessment of whether any crimes were committed. Comey added that he would not comment further on what the FBI was doing and whose conduct was examining, because the investigation was ongoing and classified. But he observed that he had taken an extraordinary step in consultation with the Department of Justice of briefing this Congress's leaders in a classified setting in detail about the investigation. Comey was specifically asked whether President Trump was under investigation during the campaign or under investigation now. Comey declined to answer, stating, "Please don't overinterpret that I've said as the chair and ranking know. We have briefed him in great detail on the subjects of the investigation and what we're doing, but I am not going to answer about anybody in this forum." Comey was also going to answer about anybody in this forum. Comey was also asked whether the FBI was investigating the information contained in the Steele reporting, and he declined to answer. According to McGahn and Donaldson, the president had expressed frustration with Comey before his March 20th testimony, and the testimony made matters worse. Oh, okay. Page 52, volume 2, and now we're at page 53. 3/20/2017, Comey briefed House Intel Committee on Russia investigation and according to McGahn and Donaldson, the president expressed frustration with Comey before his March 20th testimony, and the testimony made matters worse. The president had previously criticized Comey for too frequently making headlines and for not attending intelligence briefings at the White House, and the president suspected Comey of leaking certain information to the media. McGahn said the president thought Comey was acting like his own branch of government. Trump complained Comey was acting as his own branch of government. Oh, this is a definite attitude. Footnotes, hearing on Russian election tampering before House Permanent Subcommittee. This is all 3/20/2017. And then the Donaldson ones came in November 2017. Okay, we're on to page 54. Press reports following Comey's March 20th testimony suggested that the FBI was investigating the president, contrary to what Comey had told the president at the end of the January 6, 2017 intelligence assessment briefing. We have 10:07 p.m. here at the Voice of Stockton. This is episode 25 of the Mueller Report, or on page 54 of Volume 2. McGahn, Donaldson, and senior advisor Stephen Miller recalled that the president was upset with Comey's testimony and the press coverage that followed because of the suggestion that the president was under investigation. Notes from the White House counsel's office dated March 21, 2017, indicate that the president was beside himself, quote unquote, over Comey's testimony. The president called McGahn repeatedly that day to ask him to intervene with the Department of Justice. According to the notes, the president was getting hotter and hotter. Get rid, quote, question mark. Officials in the White House counsel's office became so concerned that the president would fire Comey that they began drafting a memorandum that examined whether the president needed cause to terminate the FBI director. Oh my, 3/21/2017, DJT wanted Comey fired for investigating the White House, WH, Russia. Yeah. At the president's urging, McGahn contacted Bonte several times on March 21, 2017 to seek Bonte's assistance in having Comey or the DOJ correct the misperception that the president was under investigation. Bonte did not specifically recall the conversations, although he did remember one conversation with McGahn around this time where McGahn asked if there was a way to speed up or end the Russia investigation as quickly as possible. Bonte said McGahn told him the president was under a cloud and it made it hard for him to govern. Bonte recalled telling McGahn that there was no good way to shorten the investigation, and attempting to do so could erode confidence in the investigation's conclusions. Bonte said McGahn agreed and dropped the issue. The president also sought to speak with Bonte directly, but McGahn told the president that Bonte did not want to talk to the president about the request. On page to intervene with Comey. All righty, page 54. DJ wanted Trump fired. Also shorten the investigation. Trump wanted to tell Bonte. So 320, that's obstruction right there. Obstruct justice. 3/21/2017. We'll go back through and we'll get the dates of when the actual obstruction activities took place, and that's one of them. And here's some of the footnotes, the longer one. White House Counsel's Office Memorandum, Attorney Udam Dilian did not recall a triggering event causing the White House counsel's office to begin this research. Metadata from document which was provided by White House established that it was created March 21st, 2017. Oh my. On to page 55. And gonna get a sip of coffee here. Let me go check the computer to see how it's doing. Oh my. The Great Obstructor. Let's first look at the radio DJ. Come on. Okay, it's doing fine. Got 1013 here at the Voice of Stockton. And the video XSplit is doing fine as well. It's good when things are doing fine. Alrighty-us. And now we have section 3 here on page 55. Section 3, the President asked intelligence community leaders to make public statements that he had no connection to Russia. In the weeks following Comey's March 20th, 2017 testimony, the President repeatedly asked intelligence community officials to push back publicly on any suggestion that the President had a connection to the Russian election interference effort. On March 22, 2017, the President asked Director of National Intelligence Daniel Coats and CI Director Michael Pompeo to stay behind in the Oval Office after a presidential daily briefing. According to Coats, the President asked them whether they could say publicly that no link existed between him and Russia. Coats responded that the Office of the Director of National Intelligence has nothing to do with investigations, and it was not his role to make public statement on the Russia investigation. Pompeo had no recollection of being asked to stay behind after the March 22nd briefing, but he recalled that the President regularly urged officials to get the word out that he had not done anything wrong related to Russia. Coats told this office that the President never asked him to speak to Comey about the FBI investigation. Some Office of DNI, Director of National Intelligence staffers, however, had a different recollection of how Coats described the meeting immediately after it occurred. According to one senior Office of the Director of National Intelligence official, Michael Dempsey, Coats said that after the meeting, the President had brought up the Russia investigation and asked him to contact Comey to see if there was a way to get past the investigation, get it over with, end it, or words to that effect. Dempsey said that Coats described the President's comments as falling somewhere between musing about hating the investigation and wanting Coats to do something to stop it. Dempsey said Coats made it clear he would not get involved with an ongoing FBI investigation. All right, here we go, page 54. Trump asked Coats to be involved with Russia, Trump, FBI investigation, to do something about it. Edward Gistaro, another Office of the Director of National Intelligence official, recalled that right after Coates' meeting with the president on the walk from the Oval Office back to the Eisenhower Executive Office building, Coates said that the president had kept him behind to ask him what he could do to help the investigation. Another ODNI staffer who had been waiting for Coates outside the Oval Office talked to Gistaro a few minutes later and recalled Gistaro reporting that Coates was upset the president had asked him to contact Comey to convince him there was nothing to the Russia investigation. To call Comey to convince him there was nothing to the Russia investigation. And now we're on page 56. On Saturday, March 25th, 2017, 3 days after the meeting in the Oval Office, the president called Coates and again complained about the Russia investigations, saying words in effect of, "I can't do anything with Russia. There's a thing I'd like to do with Russia, with trade, with ISIS. They're all over me with this." Coates told the president that the investigations were going to go on and the best thing to do was to let them run their course. Coates later testified in a congressional hearing that he had, quote, never felt pressure to intervene or interfere in any way and shape with shaping intelligence in a political way or in relationship to an ongoing investigation. On March 26, 2017, the day after the president called Coates, the president called the National Security Agency Director Admiral Michael Rogers. The president expressed frustration with the Russia investigation, saying that it made relations with Russians difficult. The president told Rogers the thing with the Russians was messing up his ability to get things done with Russia. The president also said that the news stories linking him with Russia were not true and asked Rogers if he could do anything to refute the stories. Deputy Director of the NSA, Richard Rogers, said if he could do anything to refute the stories. Deputy Director of the NSA, Richard Leggett, who was present for the call, said it was the most unusual thing that he had experienced in 40 years of government service. After the call concluded, Leggett prepared a memorandum that he and Rogers both signed, documenting the content of the conversation and the president's request, and that they placed the memorandum in a safe. But Rogers did not perceive the president's request to be in order, and the president did not ask Rogers to push back on the Russia investigation itself. Rogers later testified in a congressional hearing that as NSA director, he had, quote, never been directed to do anything he believed to be illegal, immoral, unethical, or inappropriate, and did not recall ever feeling pressure to do so. And we're on, okay, DJT. To NSA Director Admiral Mike Rogers. one, DJT, frustrated. Traded with Russia investing. Two, the investigation, what does he call it? Hertz messed up getting things done with Russians. Also said that the news stories linking him to Russia were not true. Ask Rogers. Okay. 3. Ask if Rogers could refute news stories of Trump, Russia. Oh boy, just about. Continuing. Footnotes on page 56. Coates relayed that the president had asked several times what Coates could do to help get the investigation done, and Coates had repeatedly told the president that fastest way to get it done was to let it run its course. Okay, on to page 57. In addition to the specific comments made to Coates, Pompeo, and Rogers, the president spoke on other occasions in the presence of intelligence community officials about the Russia investigation and stated that it interfered with his ability to conduct foreign relations. On at least 2 occasions, the president began presidential daily briefings by stating that there was no collusion with Russia, and he hoped a press statement to that effect could be issued. Pompeo recalled that the president vented about the investigation on multiple occasions, complaining that there was no evidence against him and that nobody would publicly defend him. Rogers recalled a private conversation with the president in which he was vented about the investigation and said he had done nothing wrong, and said something like the Russia thing has got to go away. Coates recalled the president bringing up Russia investigation several times, and Coates said he finally told the president that Coates' job was to provide intelligence and not to get involved in investigations. We're page 57. Page 57, DJT, Russia thing has got to go away. And yeah. This is 3/29/2017. On the morning of March 30th, 2017, the president asked Comey to lift the cloud created by the Russia investigation. On the morning of March 30th, 2017, the president reached out to Comey directly about the Russia investigation. According to Comey's contemporaneous record of the conversation, the president said, quote, he was trying to run the country in the cloud of the Russia investigation. The Russia business was making that difficult. The president asked Comey what could be done to lift the cloud. Comey explained that we were running it down as quickly as possible, and that there would be great benefit if we didn't find anything to our good housekeeping seal of approval, but we had to do our work. Comey also told the president that congressional leaders were aware that the FBI was not investigating the president personally. The president several times, "We need to get that fact out." The president commented that if there was some satellite, quote, unquote, which Comey took to mean an associate of the president's or the campaign that did something, it would be good to find that out. But that he himself had not done anything wrong, and he hoped Comey would find a way to get out that we weren't investigating him. After that call ended, Comey told Bonte and told him about the conversation, asked for guidance on how to respond, and said he was uncomfortable with direct contact from the president about the investigation. Okay, page 58. DJT to Comey. Told Comey, lift the cloud. President not being investigated. DJT did nothing wrong. On the morning of April 11th, 2017, the president called Comey again. According to Comey's contemporaneous notes of the conversation, the president said he was following up to see if Comey did what the president had asked him the last time, getting out that he personally is not under investigation. Comey responded that he had passed the request to Bonte, but not heard back, and he informed the president that the traditional channel for such a request would be to have the White House counsel contact DOJ leadership. The president said he would take that step. The president then added, because I have been very loyal to you, very loyal. We had that thing, you know. In a televised interview that was taped earlier that afternoon, the president was asked if it was too late for him to ask Comey to step down. The president responded, no, it's not too late, but you know, I have confidence in him. We'll see what happens. You know, it's going to be interesting. After the interview, Hicks told the president she thought the president's comment about Comey should be removed from the broadcast out of the interview, but the president wanted to keep it in, which Hicks thought was unusual. Now, page 59. DJT, loyal to Comey, not too late for DJT to fire Comey. We will see what happens. All righty. Okay, we have 10:32 here at the Voice of Stockton. We're on page 59. And we'll just, on 58, have some notes. They were mainly memorandum, hearing on Russian election interference before the Senate Select Intelligence Committee, and they're all That's Comey, subsequently testified before Congress about his conversation. His recollections were consistent with his memo. So, we'll call it a show right there. This has been episode 25 of the Mueller Report. Just finished reading, or we're to the middle of page 59. We had started on page 51. A lot of footnotes, a lot of things to explain. Obstruction of justice going on right there 2 years ago at this time. So let me head over here to the magic machines, and can't go too far with that headset, and can go a little ways with this one. And to the audience out there on Facebook and YouTube, we're winding things down, so thanks for viewing in, and keep it tuned to the Voice of Stockton